Okay guys, today we're here at the shop back again, and we're taking a look at one of those window AC units, right? You think that you can just go for years without cleaning them, without touching them, or in your mind you might think you can get away with one of these, whatever these cleaners are. Supposedly they claim to do all the jobs, and you know, you'll take this off like I did here. I already took the screws off. You'll probably clean this part right here, and that is all fine and dandy so far, right? And you might clean probably the other part on the back right here, and good, and you call it a day. Well, let me show you something that's really bad. Let me take this out. I've taken the screws already. As you see, yes, there is rust, there is stuff that makes no sense to be there, because it has been neglected for over 5 years. But have you ever thought about the main fan that's actually pushing the air inside your room? Please, if you're eating or you're sensitive to disgusting stuff, you might skip this part or watch another video. Let's go. Do you see that? Now that is inside. Right here. This stuff is highly toxic to human beings. It is really to your lungs. This can do more damage than just breathing some kind of atomic bomb somewhere. And thirdly, and quite important, this stuff can burn your house. Your house can literally go in flames from this stuff. And now here's the fan that supposedly would push your air from here through here, and this is extremely disgusting. And I will probably take apart everything slowly and wash them and clean them and see where we can go from here. But please open your window ACs and even other ACs inside, or have somebody open them for you if you can't, or you're uncomfortable doing that, and have them take a look. Just clean it outside does not do it. It just does not do it. You have to clean them inside. This is black mold that I'm cleaning right here, and this is not a joke. I said previously in this video, and I'll repeat it again. This stuff is deadly. This will actually go into your lungs and keep growing, as you see how it grew here. What I'm doing here, I'm just exciting some of it, or delodging some of it, and taking it with a vacuum cleaner just very slowly. And this shop here is actually very well ventilated. There's fans taking air out and AC bringing cold air in, so I'm not endangering myself. But if you're doing this, I suggest you get a face mask, a probably N95 possibly, and very good gloves. This stuff is not to be touched by your skin, especially if you're allergic, which most people are allergic to this stuff, and it's very dangerous, can literally put you in a deathbed. Now, the second point, this stuff keep growing. It doesn't just stop. It keeps growing, and it will block the air coming in. It will reduce the efficiency tremendously, making your electric bill go to the sky, and not cooling you down almost at all. The other point here is, now you don't have a good ventilation inside this AC. What happens here is that it will create like a hot air vacuum inside it, overheating the compressor itself. Now the compressor not only has to work triple or more harder to produce a very minimum amount of compression to the Freon, but you are risking it to overheat and break down. So sometimes, yes, they have measures in place that will trip the safe, and it will shut down the compressor and activate only the fans in order to evacuate some of that hot air out. But what happens in this case, as you might see later, is that the other coils are fins on the back that are to take the hot air out. Those are blocked too. So now where is that hot air even going? All back inside the AC and coming slowly back to your room, pushing all this black mold back in your room, straight to your lungs, and risking possibly your life. And risking, on top of that, of you burning your house, your shop, your garage, your property, wherever this device may be. And there's no other way to clean what I'm cleaning right now but to take it apart. And now in a minute, we're gonna take it outside, because obviously it's gonna be impossible to clean this one inside the shop. As well ventilated as the shop is, no, I do not trust this one to be cleaned here. Plus, it needs some level of water pressure, and we need some more chemical cleaners to go through it, and that's what we're gonna do here in a minute. Okay guys, so the only way to take this one out was to literally take the whole thing out. And yes, dirty hands are normal. This is what I'm talking about. Look how bad that one is. This is extreme. If you cannot see it here, this needs to be washed just like the other stuff. And yes, I will take these out, and as you see, that is brutally dirty. I'll continue taking out the rest of the pieces, except for probably the pipes, because I don't have a vacuum to capture the Freon, and it is actually illegal to just let Freon go in the air. And in some states, it's illegal to even do it, even if you can, but you're not licensed. So be very careful when you do this kind of work. In my case, I'm not gonna desolder or open any of the pipes. So the gas is staying where it's at. I'm just gonna take both fans out. I'm gonna clean them, put them back in, clean these pieces, put them back in, and that is all. Okay, and here we are outside. You have to wrap the electrical components, including the thermometer piece that's on the front. That is like a small cable. Put them all together in probably a plastic bag like I'm doing here, or whatever you have. Just enough to protect them from water, because we are going to be splashing some water around there in order to clean it. And just make sure that is tightly done. Now here on the other side, we have the fans. They simply pull out. That's all you do. The fans are linked together with a small rod on the middle, or an axle. And you have two screws, usually in most units, on the back part that tie on that piece of plastic. And there's 2 or 3 more screws on the middle. Those are actually not even screws. They're those kind of bolts that have a Phillips on top as well if you need to. But if they're rusted, you're gonna have to go with a wrench and get them out. And when that's done, you are ready to go. And as you see here, look at the amount of dirt that is on the table. That's just extreme nastiness. Look at this piece right here. It was inside the unit. And there's more where that came from. And now we're gonna take a look at the fins themselves that I told you previously, that they were blocked with dirt. Look at that. There's almost no chance of any air going through that. As you see, this is thick. There is no chance of air going through that. And that must be cleaned with water and brush and all that good stuff in order to make sure this AC works properly. The front one is not extremely bad, but here are the fans, as I told you. They're both linked together in one motor. And here's more of that blankety stuff. Look at that. It is extremely bad. And this is just after I shook some of it inside the shop. And now we just go into the washing part of it, and let's do it. not the cleanest ever as when it was brand new, but it's way better. These are just flattened pieces of the fence, and there's almost nothing I can do about them. But as you see, everything is extremely clean compared to where we took it from. And this one the same, both fans. And these parts here were almost baked in the plastic. I tried everything, but it was impossible to do anything with it. And from here, we're just gonna put it back together and see if it works. And as you guys saw, here it again. It is working perfectly good. And now I will put the face on the front here, and this AC is ready to rock actually. The air is really cold here, but there's no way I can show you on the camera. Then it's outside, but it's actually really good. And with that said, I hope you learned something, and we will see you next time.